Jesus.
Hey all, Big J in the house. The Lord has a special place in his heart for indie music. That's why he hath bestowed upon thee Indie Originals Live, the award-winning #1 podcast for indie music. He and I have blessed that Felicia and her sidekick, Chuck Fresh, with the gift of recognition. These fine souls have the unique gift of being able to choose the most amazing indie music on earth. It's biblical, man. Look, don't take my word for it. Listen for yourself. Indie Originals Live. Available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, iHeart, and everywhere great podcasts are heard. Thanks, y'all. Bless you. Jesus out.
Jesus.
This is IOL.
Ladies and gentlemen, legendary music independent recording artist Alto Key. There he is. First of all, congratulations on winning the Song of the Year in the 2020 Indie Original Song Competition, our second year. It's really strange because we have two British acts. We had a British act win last year as well. So people in the States are not happy with us right now. Seas Unknown by Alto Key was unanimously chosen, which is great, by our panel. I know a lot of people didn't realize that. And also won Best Folk Instrumental Arrangement, which I thought was a really curious category to enter. Because you could have probably won several other ones too. I mean, it's got it all. I mean, it's got all the elements of a catchy hit song. It really does. It's amazing. The lyrics and vocals are on point as well. And to be honest, we were singing Seas Unknown in our heads for days after the competition. It's a true story. Especially
I'm sorry for that.
No, it's great. It's great. One, thank you for that. We appreciate that. It's always great to have something catchy and poppy running around in the head. So who is this Alto Key guy? And you can correct me if I make any errors here. He's a London-based indie artist, right?
Yep.
Londonish? Okay. With an indie alt-pop sound that's loved by people with 10 out of 10 taste, right? You've heard this before, haven't you?
I like to think so. I like to think that people who like music have got good taste. And
I agree. That's great. So since starting in 2018, you've released a number of EPs, including Animals, Seas Unknowns, and a number of singles, including Colorless and Distant Love. People kind of like them. So they've been floating around various radio stations and podcasts all over, all over London, including the BBC Music Introducing, Adobe Radio, and Soho Radio, and Indie Originals a time or two, as you probably are aware. And as you know, Seas Unknown was awarded Song of the Year and Best Folk Arrangement in our music competition. So we're very happy to do that, and we're very honored to have you here today. And alongside of Alto Key's original music, he makes silly music jingles on TikTok, where he has amassed over 200,000 fans. Is that correct?
Yeah, something around that number.
That's viral.
I've got the TikTok clout.
Yeah, that's viral, man. And like 3 million likes. It's probably more than that, using your quirky sense of humor and phone thing. So he's currently independent, but I believe you're available for a bigger deal.
Yeah, but any record labels, just get in touch and yeah.
Have your people,
please.
My people call your people, you say that kind of thing?
Yeah. It's how the music industry works, isn't it? You just go viral on TikTok and then there you go, done.
That's how it works. It's kind of reversed now. You used to have to prove yourself to go viral. Now you have to go viral and then, it's ridiculous. So tell us about your journey through music. I read somewhere it had something to do with an uncannily accurate impersonation of John Denver. So tell us, where did it begin?
Well, I started playing like keyboards in school, so nothing too exciting there, I guess, and teaching myself piano. And I thought like that was good, but then I wanted to sing a bit over it. And I was just having like dinner with my family one day, and my sister was basically like just started talking about John Denver and something, and I was just like, "All my bags are packed, I'm ready to go." And it wasn't even like the best like impression or anything. She's like, "Oh yeah, that sounds pretty good." I was like, "That's it, it's my chance."
That was it. So you were going to be a John Denver impersonator. That was your initial thought?
That was the initial plan, John Denver. But then I realized that it wasn't actually that good an impression. So I actually started to like sing my own kind of stuff, you know? So then from there, I went to university to study maths, because that's what you do when you do the music, you do the maths. And
Right.
I came out of uni and I was kind of like, do you know what? I want to get back into this music thing. So 2018, I was like, that's it. I'm going to start releasing some of this stuff online. And yeah, it's kind of just taken off bit by bit from there. The slow kind of race, you just sort of keep going with it, you know?
Nothing slow. It's only 2020. You've only been in it for less than 2 years. There's people who've been in this for 70 years and still can't make $1, including myself. So yeah, kudos. You're doing the right thing. You're in the right thing. So tell us about the name Alto Key. Where did that originate? Where did that come from?
So my actual name is Kian, spelled Keian. So I don't think my parents picked enough vowels there. So, but essentially I was kind of like, oh, well, it's time to like do something a bit easier to spell. So it was a combination of, okay, well, alto key is like a musical pun anyway, because you got keys of music.
Right.
Is like the first letter of the alphabet. So it could be right at the top of people's libraries and things. So I was like, there we go. All the social media platforms were available with it. So I was like, okay, that's very rare nowadays. So I'm going to take it. And yeah, it's kind of like an alternate keying. So I was like, alto key, alternate keying, all these other things. There we go. That's the story.
Nice. That's a great story. That's a great. I mean, it was almost written in the stars. It was meant to be. I thought initially you played saxophone.
Oh, no.
You know, I'm going to put that together, but I'm an idiot. So what you mentioned, you play keyboards. What else do you play?
I can play a little bit of guitar and a little bit of ukulele, but I wouldn't say that's like my expertise. Definitely, I'm always going to be a piano man, I think. I would like to learn a bit more guitar, though, because it's a very useful songwriting tool alongside the piano. But yeah, piano is definitely my main thing.
Yeah. Well, the guitar looks kind of cool for the ladies on stage. That's what I've always heard.
Oh, yeah, that's what music's all about. That's basically what it's all about, isn't it? So,
well, that's what I hear. I don't know. I'm married for several years. I don't know what's going on anymore. But let's dive into it, because you really need to experience Alto Key to understand this craze, this viral craze about him. So what should we play first?
Colorless is kind of
Colorless?
like what people like, I think.
Well, tell us the story behind Colorless. How did that come together?
So it was all just kind of about identity and being who you want to be. And there were some times in my life where I felt like I was being pressured to kind of not go a certain route. And yeah, I felt like I wanted to capture all those feelings into a kind of dramatic song. And it was also the first time where I was working with producers. So for this one, I worked with Joe Wander, who's produced other artists like Dodie, who's a sort of bigger British act as well. And yeah, I was just like, let's do something different. Let's be a bit more like dramatic with it. And yeah, it was exciting.
Has that been heard in any BBC television programs or movies yet?
Oh, that one was put on BBC Introducing Radio as well. I've got some lovely folk in BBC Introducing the West who play that. But yeah, it's been played on a few podcasts here and there and stuff. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's check out Colorless. This is Alto Key on Indie Originals Live.
My mind is drowning in these thoughts that I'm not me. Above the surface floats a person I could be. This silence is stable, I feel it building up inside. I'm tired of these labels, I want to be what I decide. Not what they say makes me best. I'll rise until I'm not colorless. My lungs are straining on these painful words untied. They want to burst and fill me up with hollow lies. This creaking old table where we fought hard on every side. I'm tired of these labels, I want to be what I decide. Not what they say makes me best. I'll rise until I'm You lost your home, but found a family. I choose to be what I decide, not what they say makes me best. I'll rise until I'm not colorless. I'll rise until I'm not colorless.
All right. So, Alto Key. We're here on Indie Originals Live. He's our grand prize winner of the 2020 music competition. Again, the American people who are calling us off the hook, we apologize. It's just apparently people on the other side of the pond can write better music. I know I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for that.
Controversial statement.
Hey, I don't, I said that. Alto Key did not say that. So tell us, what's your process? How do you write a song?
So yeah, usually I get like a playlist of songs that I like. I really like these songs, and I then have to think about what sort of thing I want to really write about. And when I started off doing music, I used to just do the classic thing where you just try to get lyrics to rhyme, and Whereas nowadays with the songs I'm right now is just kind of I really try to capture certain feelings, emotions, certain points in my life, and then I work really hard to get those lyrics right, whilst listening to like a playlist of inspirations. And then eventually a melody usually just comes out of that, and I get some ideas around, okay, well, I want to put all these different things together. That's kind of my process, but I know lots of people do it lots of different ways. So
yeah. So this is how we run. This is what's going on in my mind. So you're listening to John Denver, and automatically a song comes in your head. So you say John Denver is your biggest inspiration?
I wouldn't say John Denver's. I like John Denver. It's more of my dad's favorite, I think.
But I'm just kidding, obviously. Do you write words or music first, typically, or is it a combination of both?
Ooh, if there's a good lyric, then I will try to make it work to a melody. But often the best songs I've written are just been like me humming in the shower, and I know because when I'm doing the songwriting process, I want to be writing about a certain topic, so I'll be thinking about things all around that, singing blah 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 in the shower, and then something eventually will be like, oh, that mumbling sounded kind of like a song, and then I just get my phone out, record it on my phone, and then there we go. Smart. Song done.
Do you ever have songs come to you in your dreams?
Do you know what I do sometimes? I don't know if you ever have that sort of thing, but weird. You wake up in the morning and it's just like you lose it. Yeah. So if I do get any good ideas, I do try to genuinely like get my phone, like even if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I have to like whisper it into my phone, and my partner's just like waking up, like, what are you doing?
Right. That's good. That's the process, man, because otherwise you lose it forever. I think that's smart.
Yeah.
So being Alto Key, the soon to be super famous viral superstar musician, known almost as much as Michael Jackson will be.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What is your favorite Alto Key song thus far in your career?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, I really liked working on Colourless, but yeah, Distant Love was another one, which is really, I think it's really relevant right now in particular in this point in time, because it was all about being away from the people you love, and I wrote it before any of this like stuff happened, but it just happened to be by the time I released it, it was just right in the middle of quarantine, and it just felt more relevant than ever. And I was just, and it was just quite a lot of stuff going on in it. So yeah.
It's almost like you're so in tune with the universe and you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It all just comes to me naturally. Yeah.
I ask a lot of people, we've interviewed a bunch of musicians, and a lot of people say that, and they say, well, the music just flows to me. And other people who have a difficult time writing, they just can't comprehend that because they have to force it. But I completely understand what you're talking about. I
do find sometimes, I don't know if it's something you find, there's people who are really good at music theory, and there's people, like sometimes you can go really far down that route. But if you focus too much on that, you lose sometimes just kind of the vibe and energy of just, having a story to tell. And so and that's Distant Love is like an example of that kind of song where it was just, I was in a certain place when I wrote it. I tried to capture it. And then once you've got the basic song written, then you can think about, production and then what instruments do we want. But yeah, I feel like you can't ever replace that just sort of natural energy put into the writing a song. No matter how much music theory you learn or how amazing you are at an instrument, there's always going to be a certain element of how well can you translate what's in here to, on the piano or singing or whatever that is.
Such wisdom from such a young guy. How old are you?
I'm 26,
How
so
do
I'm
you
not
know
too
all
young.
this? Yeah, I don't know how you do this. That's amazing. All right, let's check out Distant Love by Alto Key on Indie Originals Live.
I'm losing touch, I'm losing you to foreign beds and in-flight views. I'm getting used to waking up alone. I'm losing sleep, I wander blind, I gravitate to strangers kind, but they're not you and this is not my home. What you want has grown too much, and all I need's your careless touch, and you. I can leave you, but I can take this. I believe you, but I can fake this. Distant love is breaking me. This distant love is breaking me. When you come back, the shadows sway. Your body's close, but turned away. Now I'm confused if you were here at all. And just like that, you're up and gone. I've got no say. Of course I'm wrong. Do you not think that I deserve to be loved? What you want has grown too much. All I need's your careless touch, and you. I can leave you, but I can take this. I believe you, but I can fake this. Distant love is breaking me. This distant love, please set me free. I can leave you, but I can take this. I believe you, but I can fake this. Distant love is breaking me. This distant love, please set me free.
All right, so what is your personal favorite music genre? I mean, what bands or artists are you into?
So, I mean, I'm an indie artist, so I do like indie music, but anything kind of in the realm of indie, alternative, pop, and a bit again some folk stuff, but not always. But yeah, just I think it's a bit of a hodgepodge of any of those like four genres. But yeah, I like artists as big as like Coldplay or Bon Iver, but all the way down to some smaller artists such as like mentioned earlier, Dodie is like a smaller British artist. I've got friends. Okay, I could plug Grace Hayes, Morgan M. James, other indie artists I know, and yeah, just I like all the range of like from big artists to small artists. But for me, I don't like it if it gets too poppy. Is my only thing.
The only thing, I was into Coldplay back when Yellow came out, even before that. And do you think they've sold out and kind of become a different kind of bubblegum?
Have you heard their latest album?
I am trying to avoid it.
The latest album I thought was it went back to being more like at their roots, so it's a bit less kind of pop focus, I'd say. But yeah, I think they've obviously had to evolve with their size, right? And it's a shame when sometimes you lose a bit of that energy. But on the other hand, I'd rather have. I really enjoy Coldplay's albums. I'd rather have some of that versus. I don't want to name names, but there's some charting music at the moment, which it's like why is that charting?
Completely understand. Do you see yourself going down that same road once you receive like this notoriety and you start getting your first awards, your Grammys? Do you see yourself kind of becoming a rap artist, maybe?
Oh yeah, definitely. Heavy metal rap is like the genre I really want to. Yeah,
I can see it. I think I can see that. I don't know, maybe.
I definitely got the look, and no, I think for me, I just want to make good music, and it's obviously the dream for any artist to like get big enough to have the resource and the finances and things behind it to really go for it.
Right.
But for me, I think it's more important to tell a good story with a song, or try to do something a bit different, because there's a lot of people trying to follow trends and be a certain style, but there's loads of bands also doing that, and it's almost like, what's the point? What's the unique stamp you want to leave? Right. So I think no matter what kind of success, if any success I get, I'm always going to be quite keen to like have that sort of unique stamp. Yeah.
That's great. That's good. It's humble. It's noble. That's awesome. If you could do a duet with anyone in the world right now today, whom would it be?
Well, speaking of Coldplay, Chris Martin. But yeah, right? I don't know. I've been listening to a song like, you sometimes get a song which you listen to a lot, like on repeat. There's a song by Phoebe Bridgers called Killer Plus the Sound. I don't know if that's one you've heard.
Yeah.
But that one's I haven't really listened to much of the rest of her music, but for that song in particular, I was like, she does a duet with a guy on it. I was like, wow, she's got a really good voice. So yeah, I think that sometimes you just get sent ideas. That's one that pops into my head right now. So
that's good. That's cool. That could happen. We'll see. We'll call our people, and we'll have them call your people, and let's see what we can do here.
I'll just go into the other room and I'm like, yes, I'm Alto's people.
Yeah, right. You just change your voice. Who's going to know? It's in this environment, you're all working from home. Nobody knows what's what.
Yeah, exactly.
Why don't we play the 2020 Indie Original Song of the Year?
Yeah.
Why don't we jump into Seas Unknown right now to understand what all the hubbub is about? And I think people will kind of understand. So this is Seas Unknown, the 2020 Indie Original Song of the Year, and also the Best Folk Instrumental Arrangement of the Year. So see if you can hear that, and if you would have given it the same award as well. Seas Unknown by Alto Key on Indie Originals Live.
Sudden storm, my heart is torn. The crashing waves distort my form. What is left of me at all? Oh. Skipping stones, my chances blown. Repeating scenes, these dreams I know. Rising tide, drowning doubt. Who am I? I scream and shout. Can't take my spirit, can't break my armor. I'll keep on fighting, so to the bone. If sky should darken, I'll bring the thunder. I'll wage my war in these seas unknown. Sudden storm, my flame reborn. Adrenaline till early morn. Brave the waves and risk it all. Oh. Swim afar to brand new shore. With strength I never knew before. Feeling new, there's no more doubt. This is me, I cheer out loud. Can't take my spirit, can't break my armor. I'll keep on fighting, so to the bone. If sky should darken, I'll bring the thunder. I'll wage my war in these seas unknown. I'll make it through this, make it through.
Is music a full-time pursuit for Alto Key, or do you maintain a day job to pay the bills?
I would love to, as much as everyone to be full time, but no, I do software development, which is quite different. But it's in some ways, you know, there are like similarities between problem solving and music making and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, for me, the dream would be to be able to live off of doing the music. Even if that was an exchange of like notoriety or anything. For me, some people are like, oh, I want to get big because I want to be like famous. For me, I would just love to be able to follow my craft and do what I really, really love to do. And that'd be the financial source of income as well. It's like, yes, too. But win-win situation. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day.
What do you think about artificial intelligence writing music? Do you think that's something we'll see in our lifetimes?
Do you know what I heard? I can't remember where I heard about it, but I don't know if it was somebody like theorizing that this might be a thing, but they were suggesting that in the future there might be like you release not just one song, but you would release different genres of the same song, so that the algorithms on these platforms could tailor the version for the listener. It's something where with everything that's happening with machine learning and all that sort of stuff, you could definitely see, well, that could be the future. You know, you could imagine if maybe make a slightly rockier version of a song, the acoustic version of the song, and then the algorithms would be like, oh, let's put that version to the folk person, that version to the rock person. So I reckon there definitely will be more of that kind of thing, because everybody wants tailored content nowadays, right? Even on like Netflix with like choose your own adventure kind of shows and all that sort of stuff. So I could definitely see it becoming choose your own music kind of sort of things.
You think that's something you might want to get involved in?
Well, I mean, if it happens in our lifetime, then I'd like to be at the forefront of it. Yeah. And I could make my rap career start.
There you go. There it is. You knew it was going to happen soon. We knew we were going to get there. So what's going on with your TikTok? We heard one of your jingles went viral. So tell us about that. What's going on?
So, yeah, TikTok was something which I never really kind of took too seriously. I think a lot of other people at the moment have also sort of felt the same. But I think being forced into lockdown during this outbreak period has kind of got me to reevaluate and kind of go, okay, I can do this on my phone. I can do this at home. And yeah, it just sort of took off. Like the more I did it, the more sort of just getting more like exposure on there. Unfortunately, it's quite hard to take people off of there and then get them to stream the music and that sort of thing. But yes, it was a really weird sensation. It's calmed down a bit now, but going viral on there was the first time where I had a lot of support, but also a lot of hate all at the same time. Because I've had like some of my videos on there have had millions of views, and it's weird to think. I think the one I'm particularly went viral has been used like over 160,000 times by other people. And it's weird to think that I've made this annoying jingle that's been heard so many times around the world.
Can we play that on this show?
I can do a version like basically there's something called the FYP on TikTok, which is your For You page, which is basically where everybody sees their content. And I basically made a jingle saying, "This is proof you don't need #C. Give a like if I'm on your FYP." And that, for some reason, that little jingle, which took me maybe like 10 minutes in Logic Pro on my laptop, when like millions of people have seen it. So
that's how it works. It's a little spark of genius. It just happens and it takes off, and no one can explain why. It's wonderful, unbelievable. Let's play another Alto Key song. Pick one.
Cool.
Tell me which one to play right now. You're the DJ.
Oh man.
I'm the rapper.
Running with the Wolves is another popular one of mine.
That was the first one we ever played on this program. And that's actually Tina's favorite. Tina's favorite song. She loves it. So let's check out Running with the Wolves by Alto Key on Indie Originals Live.
All is fighting, look how it tears us apart. So drop your armor and show me your true heart. We're more than these animals, but sometimes it feels like we're lost when running with the wolves. We're running with the wolves, and I don't want to anymore. with the wolves. We're running with the wolves. And I don't want to anymore. We're more than these animals. We're breaking the silence. We're no longer hiding. We stand up for who we are. When running with the wolves. We're running with the wolves. And I don't want to anymore.
Alto Key, would you agree that being an indie artist is probably the worst thing in the world right now? Because, not because you're an indie artist, because I think being an indie artist myself is awesome, but as far as the business end goes, do you feel like we're being squelched by fake indies, all these other big label acts who call themselves indies? There's like a whole new genre of indies that are really big label artists in disguise. Do you think this is a big problem for the future, or do you see opportunities and hope?
Well, I do think it has become like two definitions of the word indie, right? You've actually got actual indie artists, and then you've got indie genre, which is just, it can be anyone, massive or small. So I do think, I guess as an artist, it is a bit frustrating knowing that, you know, there are certain artists pushed out into the world and people think, oh, they blew up overnight, and, you know, how's that happened? But there's obviously a lot of stuff behind the scenes, a lot of money involved behind the scenes to make that sort of thing happen, which is not accessible to the average indie artist out there.
Right.
So I guess that's a bit of a frustration sometimes, is the exposure point of view, especially things when there's things that you can't achieve or you can't do because you just don't know the right gatekeeper.
Right.
That said, it is a really exciting time as well, because in the 20, 30 years ago, you wouldn't have these platforms that you could use to push out your music by yourself. And record labels are starting to wake up and realize, oh wait, all these people can push out their music themselves. What are we providing that they can't do themselves? So I think it is putting a bit more power into the indie artist's hands, even if sometimes it doesn't always look that way. But I'm also aware that I don't really like gatekeeping processes and things like that. So
I'm going to take those walls down. That's ridiculous. But yeah, we were on this big push to really cancel out the indie genre because it's fake. You know, we think we should reclaim that indie title. But
you're gonna rebrand then.
I'm going to try to rebrand the world. That's my goal. And I'm going to do that before I leave this earth. All right, where's the best place for the average human to find Alto Key music?
You can search for Alto Key, ALTOKEY, on Google, or Alto Key Music is my handle on most platforms, and I'm sure you'll find your way on most social platforms, or at least the biggest ones. So awesome. Come follow me over there. Come join the journey.
We'll include all the links here too, in case you are finger fumblers like we are. So, thank you for spending some time with us. And it was great
Thank
to
you
meet
so
you
much.
face to face. Thank you for making music that the world loves.
Oh, thank you. Well,
and thank you for not giving up on the indie journey.
No, we're never going to give up. Don't you worry.
Yeah, it's awesome. So what's next? What's going on next in your life, musically?
So I've got 2 more singles I want to release this year. And then next year, I want to take a tiny bit of a break at the start just to reevaluate and just think, what do I want to do next year? And potentially rebrand, make some different styles of music, not too far away from the sort of stuff I make, but it's always good to experiment and try new things.
Sure.
But my most immediate release will be on the 2nd of October for a brand new single called Dopamine, which is all about being on social media and maybe a little bit addicted to social media.
Nice.
And it's a bit of a darker kind of song than maybe some other ones. But yeah, I'm excited to see it get pushed out into the world.
we have your permission to provide one of the first times on earth that this song will be played?
Yes, of course.
Oh, thank you. You're a god. Let's check out. Thank you once again to Alto Key. Make sure you check him out. Get all the links below here in the video and check him out. Awesome person and a very talented musician as well.
Oh, thank you so much.
Dopamine by Alto Key, world premiere right here on Indie Originals Live.
Curtains open, I'm on you. A social robot built by you. But I'm not a machine. I'm high on dopamine. Dopamine, my life, I'm burning through my ears. I'm not certain who you see. Curtains closing, swallow me. But I'm not a machine. I'm high on dopamine. My life, I'm burning through my ears.
This is IO